That you be texting, like I literally be grabbing and putting in lessons, but it just it's like so much information going on. For somebody can get everything. It's it's a landslide. Yeah, exactly. I have like 4 different videos on it. No, Venezuela, that's some stuff going on too. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Apologies for the late start. Aki, you mind leading us in prayer so we can go ahead and get into it?
You saw the link?
Yeah. Let's stay on.
Abba, I'd like to thank you for waking us up today and allowing us to see another day and giving us another day with our families, Abba. And to thank you for this gift of the breath of life that you've given us, Abba. And thank you for getting us together and bringing us together safely under this roof. And I pray that you open our hearts, open our minds, and allow us to receive this word and in a humble manner. Abba. Shalom.
Shalom. So, we're in this Redeeming the Bloodline series. We've been going over tentatively the covenant of salt and its significance. We're kind of just going to jump straight into stuff. We're going to start at Mark 9. And if you don't mind. One thing I do want to say, I know I kind of said it last time, certain things in everything in Christianity that you were taught's got to just pretty much you got to throw it out the window. You have to be able to relearn, right? You have to renew your mind, as the scripture says. And I cannot harp on this enough. White supremacy and supremacy of any kind will not inherit the kingdom. White supremacy and supremacy of any kind will not inherit the kingdom. So this lesson is titled Salt of the Earth. It's really things that you shouldn't do to no longer be the salt of the earth, right? And it's subtitled, Don't Lose Your Savor. Don't lose your savor. So go ahead and Mark 9. Yeah, that's what he does. It makes no sense.
Wow, okay. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death till they have seen the kingdom of Yah come with power.
Right.
And after 6 days, Yeshua taketh with him Peter and James and John, and leadeth them up into a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them.
Now, what would you think if you saw that? Like, wait a minute, why he look different?
That's like some sci-fi type stuff.
That's literally some sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
But they saw Mashiach, and then read the next verse.
And his raiment became shining.
All the way down to 5. Mm-hmm.
Exceeding white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can wipe them.
So it's almost like when you're watching like an anime movie and then they power up, they charge up, and all of a sudden their clothes and everything is just different all of a sudden. Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So they're seeing like a literal transformation.
Yeah. You go from a human to something totally different.
To being something else.
Yeah.
Or to actually being your true essence, your true source.
Yeah.
Right? Showing who you truly are. Right? Keep going.
And there appeared unto them Elias with Moses, and they were talking with Yeshua.
So then it's not even just you saw him, you see 2 other well-known prophets. Now, how do they know? Just imagine them seeing people that died a long time ago.
Yeah.
You see Mashiach being transformed.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing I guess you can almost call him the original Mashiach. I guess you can call a type of Mashiach Moses. Mm-hmm. And Elijah. They went up to heaven in a whirlwind, and only certain of them did. All of the disciples did not see this thing.
And Moshe, he was transfigured for a little bit too, wasn't he, when he seen the Most High?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, at that point in time. But like this is hundreds and thousands of years after that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep
I
going.
don't know what you would think when you would see something like that, when you know you're supposed to be dead.
Man, then you know, like, man, this you got to be the son.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there ain't no mistaking it. And I cannot go back. I've seen it.
Everything
I've
you-
seen the glory.
Everything you said is true.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. Man, I just saw Moses. You won't believe that. You saw who? Moses and Elijah too. I know. I can tell you what it looked like.
Whatever I found.
Bruh, like, man, oh no, he drunk. He sound drunk. Something wrong with him. That's what they gonna say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these are spiritual matters. But keep going.
Okay. And there appeared, I already said that one. And Peter answered and said to Yeshua, Master, is it good for us to be here? And let us make 3 tabernacles, one for 3, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. No, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
So let's make a tabernacle for all 3 of y'all, right? So then he says, because and the reason why he said this, because it says, for he wist not what to say, for they were so afraid. So he didn't know what to say. Hey, yeah, we can build all 3 of y'all tabernacles. So this is some wild stuff going on. I can't really comprehend it, but I just know this is some spiritual stuff. So I know throughout text, like whenever there were what they would call Christophanies or manifestations of either the Son of the Most High, they would build tabernacles, right? So that's what like, okay, let's build it for, because these 2 with them, and those are some of the greatest men like in our history. So let's do this thing, because they were scared, right? And he said, and there was a cloud that overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my beloved Son, hear him." So listen to him.
That's wild.
That is wild. So a cloud just talking to you.
From the sky.
Now remember cloud, because cloud we're going to see something about a cloud later on.
Okay.
Cloud. But just like the voice from the cloud said then, we got to be doing the same thing now. Listening to the voice of Mashiach, that still small voice, right? Because a lot of people, they thought they was going to be raptured out of this thing, right?
They talking with demons.
Huh?
They think it's God.
Yeah. And the Lord told me that on that Joshua guy on the 23rd, man, he literally had a watch party.
Yeah.
He had a watch party for the rapture. The countdown, and there was this 22-hour window to where all this stuff could be fulfilled. So even though like certain people are in a different day, he holding on to the last second.
Yeah, but guess what? He got another rapture day.
Huh? Of course, it's going to keep changing.
Yeah.
And a lot of African people, a lot of quote unquote Europeans and white people, a lot of people around the world fell for that nonsense.
God is all into the.
You saw him out in the forest. I was going to put all that in there. I'm not even putting all that in there because like this is one of those lessons to where we really got to make sure that we chew the cut on.
Yeah.
So again, in this hour, we got to be listening to the voice of Mashiach, right? So then he says, and suddenly, when they had looked round about, they saw no man anymore, save Yahusha, only with themselves. So you know they got to be tweaking, man. We talk about building a tabernacle. You was transformed. Now all of a sudden you got on your same dirty clothes you had on before. Like you ain't as fresh as you was a second ago. And like, man, was that a dream?
Man.
Like, are we on shrooms? Are we on drugs or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they thought it was something.
Right. It's wild, the stuff that happens, right? And then it says, as they came down from the mountain, he charged them that they should tell no man what things they had seen till the Son of Man were risen from the dead.
Okay. Yeah.
And they kept that saying with themselves, questioning one another what the rising from the dead mean. Hey, what do you mean by rising from the dead? What are you talking about?
When he get crucified.
No. But they didn't understand. Like, hey, what are you talking about rising from the dead?
Yeah.
Now we just saw with the spiritual things, Shabbat Shalom, with the spiritual things that they just saw, like what he mean? Ain't no way he could die. Like we just saw him transfigured.
I know that.
Like he's beyond this world, and you talking about he gonna die and then rise from the dead? What does that mean? What could it mean?
Yeah.
And then he says, and they asked him, saying, "Why say the scribes that Elias must come first, or Elijah must come first?" And he answered and told them, "Elijah verily comes first, and restoreth all things. And now, and how it is written of the Son of Man that he must suffer many things, and be set at nothing." Right. So why does the spirit of Elijah have to come first? You remember we were talking about that last year. I'm just asking y'all. He tells you in that verse, he says to restore all things, because what happened was, like, as a nation of people, we fell out of order with the Most High, right? It says, like, children are your oppressors, women rule over you, men, they wouldn't take care of their families, wouldn't do anything, and none of us were seeking the Most High, right? We had become so obstinate and stiff-necked that we couldn't even see that the Messiah as a nation was here, right? Because we were looking for somebody that was going to physically take the kingdom when it wasn't for that time period, right?
They all thought it was like a real war.
Right. They thought that was the time, but that wasn't, right? And then he says, but I say unto you that Elijah indeed is come, and they have done unto him whatsoever they listed, as it is written of him. And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning him, with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him, saluted him. So all these people saw him, and they were saluting him. The reason why Eliyahu has to come first is because, again, the order, the family has got to be restored. And all of this is about raising the tabernacle of David, which had fallen and has fallen even today, right? Especially, like, you see what the governments have done to destroy our families and our tribes, right? It's, they take the man out, and then it's all chaos. There's no order, right? We're stuck in dysfunction. We're stuck in generational curses, right? This was done by design, because they knew that the tabernacle of David had to be restored, but that Elijah has to come first in order for all those things to be fulfilled, right? So then he says, and he asked the scribes, what question you with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto you my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth, and gnasheth with teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to your disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. Now remember, Mashiach's already given them power to cast out devils, to heal the sick, and he told them to raise the dead. And they couldn't do that right here. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. Now, is that not cold?
Yeah, very cold.
Because, like, people thinking like Mashiach ain't really necessarily trying to hurt people's feelings, but his disciples couldn't do this one thing, so he says, you faithless generation of vipers.
Because he was still a human, so he get frustrated a little bit too.
Bro.
So he gave him the keys to do,
But this is the thing, like, you got to have a tough skin, though. Because sometimes when the Most High is talking to you, it ain't going to be nothing nice. Because a lot of times we just be out of order, like we just messed up. We missed the mark on things. And it's not all, I'm not going to offend nobody, this is not. Open rebuke is better than what? Secret love sometimes. So he was letting them know your faith ain't where it's supposed to be at. Your salt might be starting to lose a little bit of its savor, right? You got to be careful with that thing, right? And he said, bring them unto me. And they brought him unto him, and he saw him straightway. The spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. Like he had some demons on him, right? So what? Yeah, like an animal with rabies or something, right? And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child.
Wow.
So he had it so that became those demons' home.
Yeah.
Because nobody had enough faith to have those demons cast out. That type of ordeal, it's going to be very hard to cast out a demon like that, because they've been there for, like you said, for years. They're comfortable there. The person has gotten comfortable with those demons also. That's become a part of their little DNA at that point. And it takes Mashiach and his power to remove these things from you, right? So then he says, and oftentimes it have cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. So, I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to. They're coming to the right place. So then Yahusha, Yahusha said unto him, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Do y'all think that they had enough faith for this thing?
Yeah, they came to him.
I mean, they came to him. So then they respond, and straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Master, I believe, but he didn't believe. He said, help you my unbelief. So he believed enough, but you got to help me get to that point. So I'm saying that to say this. We know that they've been doing this global reset. We know that the plans that they have, I'm telling you, the way it's looking, they're trying to take a specific people back into slavery, the way it's looking. The plans and the devices that they have. Do you have enough faith in the Most High to see the actual better end of the thing, right? Because the end of the thing is going to be greater than what we're going through now. Yeah. But the end that they have designed for us, it's going to be perpetual servitude. And it's not even just us anymore. Now it's the whole world. Now everybody's in that same boat. They thought that this... their version of the awakening was going to be like they keep talking after this rapture debacle that there's this new revival now. Charlie Kirk allegedly he died. There's this great revival coming, and I'm like, do y'all not see the whole thing? I'm not saying it was a hoax, but there's so many holes in that thing. For one, the alleged killer, he didn't actually confess to doing anything.
But on top of that, there was an actual guy in black tactical gear on the building who actually shot from that angle.
The dude, but even the experts say that he actually got shot from the back of the back right side of his head. Yeah. So everything that they're doing is just to try to keep you distracted. For some strange reason, they're doing a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm gonna talk about one thing because you brought it up in the text. So yes, on Tuesday, over 800 of our military's generals are meeting with the Secretary of what?
War.
Of War.
You told us about the name change, but it's really real.
Yeah, it's the Department of War, and they're mobilizing the troops to quote unquote black cities, and the Secretary of War is meeting with 800 generals for what? It's
a closed door meeting.
Right, and then it's so bad that they're telling the media you can only talk about talking points that the media already know about. You cannot talk about anything that comes up actually in the meeting. If you do that, your what they say, your press passes will be revoked. This is such a crazy and dangerous time we live in right now, because the thing that they threatened that the Democrats were going to do about taking away free speech is actually what Trump and them is doing. Secretly, subtly, right? So the rumor mill is with all these 800 generals coming together, they're about to downsize us into oblivion for the ones that are not willing to go along with whatever plan that they got going. And the only reason why you really have 800 generals coming together is if you're planning a war. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's some type of war that they're planning, or the next phases, because that's what this Charlie Kirk assassination really was. It was a symbol that they were ready to go to the next phase of whatever their plans may be. So I'm gonna ask you again: do you believe that the Most High can save you, can have you in Goshen's? If not, we should all be praying but can you please help my unbelief in this hour? Because the stuff, man. Because you be watching a lot of the stuff, like the stuff they have planned. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but I ain't going to lie. That stuff is wild. That stuff can get kind of scary. Like to me, they don't seem human. That's just my own personal opinion. I can't see humans really thinking like that personally. Something, man. But so then he says, when Yahusha saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, "You dumb and deaf spirit, I charge you, come out of him and enter no more into him." Yeah, why wouldn't he? But just like Mashiach is our example and in our image that we are supposed to be formed into, he is the salt that doesn't lose its savor. Because no matter what, his faith never wavered. He knew that he could cast out whatever was in this guy. Didn't matter how long it was there. He wasn't intimidated by the circumstances. We've got to become that salt of the earth. And we have to stay rooted. Like, it don't matter what they throw in front of us. We ain't going for none of this dumb stuff. And we're trusting in the Most High. That's why we keep going over this thing. We'll talk about a conversation I had with a childhood buddy, Roger. Talked to him 1 or 2 days ago. And we're just asking him if he see what's going on. And we were on the phone for probably close to an hour. And he sees all this stuff going on. He sees the writing on the wall, everything I was talking about. You know, he was along the lines. I said, "So what are y'all doing to try to be ready?" He said, "Oh, we're just living it up until the end." There are so many people, because they know the truth, they don't see any way out, and they don't have any faith. That's how your salt can lose its... That broke my heart because like I kept, because he knows about the book. His dad knew about the truth and all this and that. It's like, yeah, man, like you'd have to have the right people and, to start a community to have different, skill sets. And then everybody would have to be, coming together. Ain't nobody going to come together. Ain't nobody going to do this. Ain't nobody going to do that. So I'm just going to live it up. And, I'm going to let America be America. Then when it's over, I'm just going to just watch it burn. I'm just like, so no faith. There are so many people that are unlike him that don't know the truth because they don't want to see the darker side of America. And they're going to see it burn also. So which version of person are you going to be? Are you going to have hope and faith in the Most High? Or are you just going to give up? Because we all got children. Yeah. We want them to live long lives. We don't want our bloodlines to end. But like it really broke my heart that he would just kind of just give up like that. I'm like, I don't know.
There's a lot of people like that. Some people can't fathom fast stuff will happen. They just don't see it ever happen. Not in America. You got the best army in the world. You can't even get
allegedly.
Yeah.
If you believe that nonsense, right? Will you read verse 26? One of you, actually, June, will you read?
And the Spirit cried and rent him sore and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, he is dead.
Man, he didn't kill him. He was just supposed to take him out. Now he dead, right?
But Yahushua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose.
So in order for you not to lose your savor, that's exactly what Yahushua's got to do for all of us. Lift us up with his mighty hand and his stretched out arm. Because this stuff is going to be wild that's coming. Especially when you think about our nation of people, because a lot of us are in that fallen state. It's going to take him to revive the right people so that we can reestablish this tabernacle of David, right? This what we're talking about. Keep going.
And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing, but by prayer and fasting. So
do you see why this year, what if we started doing more? Because we got to go to another level in prayer and in fasting. Certain things, it takes that to get those yokes of bondage removed from you. Everything that the Most High does is for a reason. We're not just doing this thing just to say, oh, okay, it's the new trend. That's not why we're doing this thing. It's about being imbued with power and with the understanding of the things to come. All right, keep going.
And they departed thence and passed through Galilee, and he would not that any man should know.
So why do you think he was passing through Galilee, but he didn't want any man to know where he was going through?
What he was going through?
Well, where he was going to. Some time to himself. To pray. But actually, for he taught his disciples and said unto them. So he was going to teach his disciples certain things that he didn't necessarily want the world to know. Right? The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And after that he is killed, he shall rise the third day. Right? So again, he didn't want everybody to know these things because he only reveals things to his prophets, to his people, to those that are faithful to him. He never would cast his pearls before swine. We should take that same text to heart. You can't tell everybody everything that you got going. Like it don't even make sense. Then he says, but they understood not the saying of that saying, and were afraid to ask him. And he came to Capernaum, and being in the house, he asked them, what is it that you disputed among yourselves by the way? But they held their peace. For by the way, they had disputed among themselves who should be the greatest. What does that matter? How vain of a question is that? This is what's wrong with our people right now. Because nobody really wants to come together unless they can be King David. You see a lot of these, some of these places are just cults, right? And you end up finding out that they're in their compounds that they have. That's literally what it is. It's all about what one person says, even if it goes against the word of the Most High. That's what's wrong with our people. Everybody want to be King David. But a kingdom got to come together. The body has got to fully supply itself. Everybody has a function, an order to fulfill. Everybody can't be King David. Right, because King David is going to be Yahushua when he comes back. Because again, there's certain ministries that are just starting to come down, and it's just crazy because people really put these people on pedestals. Idolatry, worship. Keep going. Oh, it's on me, isn't it? My bad. And he sat down and called the 12 and said unto them, if any man desire to be the first, or to be first, the same shall be last of all and a servant of all. This is how you know that he's not coming back for a people that's looking to be raptured out of something. Yeah. He's looking back for coming back for a people that have been perpetually in servitude, in service of people, right? Those other people just want to get out of their judgment, even though we've been living through judgment. Yeah. Again and again and again and again. Cycle. Black Wall Street, the Tuskegee experiment, transatlantic slave trade, you name it. Africa. Everything. Over and over and over again. We keep repeating the same little cycles. Same cycles. It's got to end at some point. And again, and he took a child and set him in the middle of them. And when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them, whosoever shall receive one such children in my name, receiveth me. And whosoever shall receive me, receiveth not me, but him that sent me. So receiving children is also raising them in righteousness, right? Because we all have children that are helping to grow the tribe. And we still got to train them in the way that they should go. Why did he say that about this children? About receiving them is like receiving me, and then not him, but him that sent him.
Because it starts with the kids. It
does start with the child, but in other versions of this, he says you must humble yourself as a child, right? So it's about, because what was the question that they asked that they was bickering about? Who's going to be first? Who's going to be the greatest of us? And this is exactly what's wrong with our people. Again, everybody wants to be King David. People want to focus or major on stuff that are not salvation issues. That's why the body can't even fellowship with one another, right? You want to find, like, every year there's these new doctrines that come out and they're so divisive, like, oh, okay, well, we can't deal with nobody that's doing that. I'm like, but we believe in 99.9% of everything else. Yeah. Like the stuff is so, it's immature, it's annoying, and it shows that people aren't really growing. Because I'm like, look, going back to even the name Yah, David called out to Yah. The tabernacle of David was established calling out to the name Yah. So why are we making this like some, I can't rock with nobody that's calling him Yah when it's in the text 49 times? Tradition. It is tradition. Yeah. Traditions of men. Yeah. Traditions of men. And Yehoiakim answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in your name, and he followeth not us, and we forbade him because he followeth not us. See, this is what I'm talking about. Be worried about other people, like he casting out in the right name, doing everything else right, but he ain't walking with us. So we told him, you better stop doing that thing. If you not with us right now, then you better knock it off. Why are you so worried? Y'all worried about which one of y'all gonna be the greatest. And then you're going to say this to people that you don't even know that's doing the right thing? How you know it's the right thing? What does Mashiach respond? Right? He says, but Yahushua said, forbid him not. For there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. So why are we casting people off that's a part of the body of Mashiach without a cause? They worry about the wrong thing. Focusing on the wrong thing. The main thing is not staying the main thing. And like, again, this is about maturity and this is about growth. Like, come on, like the time is really getting short to have these petty arguments and disagreements. We got to be coming together, pulling resources, pulling skill sets together so we can endure in this thing. Short. Well, this is the nitty gritty. This ain't even short. This is the nitty gritty, bro.
Every day is something different.
There's so much information, you can't even put all the stuff out. It's just like, go ahead, Ak.
Information, what do you call it?
Overload.
Yeah, or the fatigue, information fatigue.
Yep, that too. Yeah. And that's by design. They want us to be exhausted.
Uninterested.
Mm-hmm.
For whosoever shall give you a cup of water to drink in my name because ye belong to Christ. Verily I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a milestone were hanged about his neck, and he were cast into the sea.
He's okay.
And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into Sheol, into the fire that never shall be quenched.
So it's better to cut off members of your body than to have your whole body die and burn forever, right? Forever, ever. Keep going.
Where their work dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Or where their worm dieth
worm.
not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into Sheol, into the fire that never shall be quenched.
So with him saying cut off your hands, cut off your feet, he's really telling you to circumcise your heart and to judge yourself so that you will not be judged later, right? Find the things that are keeping you from the Most High and remove those things, right? In our layman's terms. That's what he's trying to get down to. What idols is in your life? What things is keeping you from worshiping, from fellowshipping with the people of the Most High? What is it? Is it your ego? Is it your arrogance, right? Or is it maybe you just love sports more than the Most High? Maybe you love games more than the Most High. Maybe you love the company of women more than the Most High. Maybe you love the company of people that got nothing to do with the Most High than the Most High. What is it? What idol have you set up? What altar and idol have you set up that's greater to you than the Most High? Remove this thing from your life, from your mind, right? So that you can be converted in a twinkling of an eye. Keep going on.
Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of Elohim with one eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into Sheol fire. Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
You see how he keeps saying that one sentence over and over and over again? He's letting you know, like, this thing gonna burn for real. This is gonna be some fire. Like, this ain't gonna be no joke. You're gonna burn. And it ain't gonna stop. Yeah. Right? Forever. Keep going.
For everyone shall be salted with fire. And every sacrifice shall be salted with salt.
So what does it mean to be salted with fire? Because remember, this is about being the salt of the earth and the covenant of salt. But he just says that everyone will be salted with fire. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Purified with fire. Okay.
Because then he says salt is good, but if the salt have lost his saltiness, wherewith will you season it? Have salt in yourselves. Have salt in yourselves. Have salt in yourselves, and have peace one with another. Now he said it's to purify. To be salted with fire is a biblical metaphor from Mark 9:49. It means to undergo a process of purification, refinement, and testing through trials. Right? So you have to go through trials and tribulations. You cannot be raptured out of that thing. To be the salt of the earth. You can't. So then he says, symbolized by the properties of both salt and fire. The fire is seen as a way for followers of Mashiach to have their spiritual saltiness, what? The ability to preserve, purify, and bring flavorful insight to others. So the salt says salts with fire. You're the ones that are giving people the word to where they can what? Digest that thing. It's almost like chewing the cud all over again. But you got to go through a purification. You got to take that time and do that prayer and that worship and the fasting like he was talking about. We all do. All of us have to go through that. But the elder was spot on. Is again because salt it's a preservative. It purifies, and again we are to give a word in season and out of season because we are the seasoning. That's why we are the salt of the earth. Literally, restored and strengthened, preparing them for a life of covenant loyalty and divine sentence. Right? What are you gonna say? Y'all gonna say something? Y'all looking like y'all had something to say?
They talk to each other.
You gonna say something? Say something.
What you do with metal.
Oh, give her the mic. I can't even hear you.
It's what you do with metal.
Okay, explain.
You purify it.
How?
Fire.
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 There is no rapture out of that thing. He's coming back for a people that are purified with fire. Because going back to what that said, in that last verse, or 49, for everyone shall be salted with fire. He's talking to the people that are the salt of the earth, not to everybody else. Right? Everyone will be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. Every sacrifice that we give to Most High has got to have salt because it is a preservative. Right? So as we keep going. So, hold on. Give her the mic. Hold on. You gonna rap.
Keeping cold.
Mm-hmm.
Those that do not.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
You leave them alone. Pray for them. And keep your clothes on.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, let them do what they do. Let them do what they doggone do. So I talked about a cloud earlier. We talked about salt. Everyone shall be salted with fire. Now, and this is the Mashiach's warning about losing your savor. Right now, this lesson is titled "Salt of the Earth." Don't lose your savor. Right. So Matthew 5:13 it says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men." This is literally what happened to us. We were thrown out and trodden down of men to this day. If y'all can't see it, then y'all don't really know our history like we've been learning it. Luke 14. If you don't mind, go ahead. Oh, Jamal said he got it.
And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy.
So, first off, what is dropsy?
Got the drop, got the location?
No. Huh?
It's some kind of illness, but I forgot exactly.
It's like they said. It's no. You're still reading. It is some kind of illness. And why were the scribes and Pharisees? Why were they watching Yahushua? Why though?
See, we gonna heal him?
Why? What's wrong with him healing somebody?
It's on the Sabbath.
Huh? What's that? What that mean?
The Pharisees.
So they weren't focused on the right thing.
Yeah.
They knew the letter of the law, but they have no idea of the spirit of the law. Like, say what? I know he is not about to work and about to heal somebody. Right? I know he not. Not on Shabbat. No, he ain't. They was probably saying, "Devil, you a lie." Is probably what they was calling him. Wow, bro. So dropsy. Go ahead, Ike.
Yeah, I ain't gonna learn dropsy. Dropsy, also known as edema, is a medical condition characterized by an excessive accumulation of fluid in the body's tissue. So, causes is heart failure, kidney disease, liver cirrhosis, protein deficiency, certain medications, and allergic reactions. The symptoms is swelling in the legs, ankles, feet, or face, puffiness under the eyes, weight gain, shortness of breath, or fatigue.
Okay, that's good. This is what it looks like. You've seen certain people that got like one leg is way fatter than the other, or arm maybe.
Right.
Dropsy.
I thought that was gout or whatever.
Well, back then they called it dropsy, right? So Yahushua sees somebody with this thing and like, man, you know what? I got compassion on this person. Let me heal this person. But these people, they don't have a heart after the Most High.
It's Saturday.
Yeah. You ain't gonna heal, not on this day. Wow, bro.
There's certain medications like that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. That can create the same thing?
Yes, the right ankle.
That's crazy. That's why we gotta get off the medications for real. So that's what it looks like. Keep going on.
And Yeshua answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?
Because he know it.
And they held their peace. And he took him and healed him and let him go. And answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day?
Oh, actually, which one of y'all has a son or a daughter or a wife that would fall into a ditch and you wouldn't help them get out?
On Sabbath.
But he had to put it in terms because they were so focused on money. That's why he was talking about ox and all this other type stuff, because that's where their focus was at. It's crazy, man. Again, majoring in the wrong things ain't keeping the main things the main thing.
And I bet one of them was sick like that, they wouldn't care if it was Saturday long.
Oh yeah. Well, at least like come to my private chambers. Don't tell nobody you did it, right?
Yeah.
Hypocrites.
Yeah. And they could not answer him again to these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden. When he marked how they chose out the chief's rooms, saying unto them,
What does it mean to be bidden? Okay, keep going.
what does it mean?
We're about to the next slide.
When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man that thou be bidden of him. Okay.
Mhm.
And he that bade thee, and him come and say to thee, Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee.
So at Mark 9, he was talking about humbling yourself as a child, right? In Luke 14, he's talking about a marriage, going to somewhere in a marriage, but not choosing the choicest rooms, right? All of this stuff has to do with being bidden. So the word bidden is kaleo, and it means to be called, right? So who are the called or elected or chosen? So certain ones that are called to this marriage, right? So he's letting you know again how this is technically, I guess you could say this is kind of like the Beatitudes. Everything about the kingdom, everything about raising the tabernacle of David is about humility and humbling yourself, right? It's not choosing the best and the best, because what he said, the greatest of you will be the servant. Yeah. So don't come into a place only trying to choose the choicest room so that people can see you and so you can be honored. Because he said in that, what did he say in that last verse? He said, but when you are bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade you cometh, he may say unto you, friend. Now, who was the friend of the Most High in the scriptures?
Abraham.
Abraham was called the friend of the Most High, right? Go up higher, be you elevated, go to the next level, ascend, right? Then shall you have worship. You're going to have worship? That's, all praise, honor, and glory, and worship is supposed to go to the Most High, right? But you get a form of worship. And then it says, in the presence of them that sit at meat with you. So that word for bidden was kaleo. Now, the word for bidden there is doxa. And it means that you will have an opinion, a judgment, and a view of a good report.
Like a
Viewpoint. But it was only translated as worship one time. It really means that you will have glory and honor and praise and dignity. Again, everything's about humbling yourself. Even going back to the tabernacle of David, that's what Solomon was talking about with that prayer. All of this stuff it's like they're trying to get you to remember who you are and the things that got you the kingdom in the first place. Everything. It always comes back. The problem is we live in this reality of the Me Too movement. Everything's about me. What I want, what I need in this fast food world now. Because the love of many, we can tell by the leadership in the country. The love of many has waxed cold. It's over with. They don't care about nobody but the rich and the elite. Now they done put everybody in the same boat or the same pot. And now the rest of the country is starting to realize and understand, like, we tried to tell y'all this is what was coming. They want to eliminate poverty and the homelessness. How do you think they're going to do that? They're going to kill them
Yeah, I
or
told
put them
him-
in prisons.
I told him what they said on Fox News, either put them in jail or exterminate them. He said alive on the news.
I already shut down the homeless shelter and stuff.
You said so they shut down a homeless shelter here?
The one that's downtown, about the VA.
That's crazy.
Block away from the public station.
I want everybody to kind of just remember back here in right around 2010,
Mm-hmm.
2012, right in that time period when you had that Operation Jade Helm.
Yep.
right there.
Yep, we remember that.
time,
Yeah.
and you had all these, you had the old military bases that were being refurbished,
Mm-hmm.
and they were building more internment camps.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
People forget about that. You're right.
and they had the mass graves that were,
Yeah.
they were transporting.
Mass Calvins.
Did
Yep.
did everybody forget about that?
No.
You think I'm here because it's, 12,
Martial law.
12, 13, 14 years later, you think these people, built all that and made it for nothing?
For no, they got plans.
That's why I heard people gonna die on Earth if I do something.
If you do not go along with their plans, and if you are not in the Goshen,
I was on Facebook Live trying to follow them signs, see where it leaded to. Jay and stuff. That stuff was crazy.
yeah,
It was crazy.
because like if you don't follow their plans, they gonna give you two options. That's it.
Yeah.
You gonna go to an internment camp, or you probably gonna be in one of them coffins he talking about. And
So
That-
cheap and a whole
Cleaning
bunch
up these cities,
got to get out of these cities.
the cleaning up
Mm-hmm.
of crime in the cities
Mhm.
is a precursor to
Yeah. 'Cause they
The purge.
They already planning this in soldiers for every state already. It's
Yeah.
already been said.
Yeah. The only good thing is that they don't have enough American troops to really do too much in every city. There's too many cities. But what they'll do is they'll go to the major cities in each state.
Yeah.
So and then they'll try, even with the National Guard, when you talk about outside of the military, there's still probably 300 Americans. That's not going to do much. But there's something else that they're going to bring to the table that's going to change all of those numbers. Which is, go ahead, Otter.
What you're just saying, you're correct on that, but see, you forgetting one thing, my brother. Or should I bring back to your remembrance? You have the United Nations. You got UN force, see, about it, and I've expounded on this many years ago to a lot of our people.
Mhm.
And I said, look here, when it comes down to if a civil war was to break out again, the United States government is not, they're not stupid. They know that for the most part, that your own people aren't gonna fire on your own people. You may have a few that might be a little radical, but for the most part, your own people aren't gonna try to take their own people out, the citizens of America. So what they'll do, because at this point, when this point happens, it's gonna be world chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is, since it's gonna be all UN, they'll take troops, say from Germany or Italy, and they'll bring them over here to the United States, and then they'll take United States troops, and national.
They'll just rotate.
And-
I get what you're
and
saying.
Those people ain't gonna have
But
no
it-
mercy. If they bring people from over another country over here, you think they're gonna have mercy on them?
Oh, well, when it comes to Civil War, there's more to that.
But still, there's not enough soldiers to go to every city and all the country. There have to be a
So
bigger city.
that's why there's got to be some type of either Yellowstone or nuclear attack or something that happens here in America to where they kind of can curtail the numbers enough. Because even with that, you're talking about 330 million. I don't even think there's enough troops in the UN for that. But that's why I said there's something that we're not adding to it. And I'll just go ahead and say it. It's AI.
Yeah.
So I've been holding back because I'm trying to put a lesson together or lessons together. Because one statement that I'll go ahead and say it that Elon Musk said. He said this either last year or the year before. He said in 10 years, there will be 1 billion humanoid robots here in America.
What?
1 billion.
In how many years?
He said in 10 years, this was either last year or the year before he said that. So let's just say he said that in 2024. That means by 2034, there's going to be 1 billion humanoid robots here. They don't need the UN.
That's why.
They don't need that.
Everybody's job's gonna be gone because they got.
That's why I've been saying 2030 is like a date in destiny. For some, how long have I been saying that now? It's like 2030, everything, 2030, collapse, everything, 2030, 2030, 2030. People be thinking, and then there's stuff that's going to happen in 2027. There's some stuff supposed allegedly going to happen next year. But people keep thinking we got all this time, and I'm like, look, this ain't it. I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, y'all can, because matter of fact, it was another billionaire that was talking about how Elon Musk said he's bringing 1 billion humanoid robots to America. So that means that the jobs are going to be gone, and that means they'll have more than enough, because a lot of those, if you know anything about DARPA, and we went over some of the things that DARPA has with those different types of robots. The Terminator moves. Go ahead.
I don't think it's gonna be hand-in-hand combat.
No, because of drone warfare. Like, look, like that's why I keep telling people I would not want to be in the military now, trying to go and fight, because it's literally going to be like Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That's why I said that in that lesson like a few months ago. Like, that's what it's going to end up being. This is not going to be like you said, man to man. It's going to be like the Terminator movies. Is what it's going to end up being like.
And the Russia-Ukraine war was like the. That's why the Russia-Ukraine war is so important, because they want to see how the drones will work in real warfare.
China has fleets of nothing but drones, and like in this fleet, it'll release like 20 or 30,000 drones in any location that they send it to. I've seen it. I'm talking. That's China. That's not Russia. That's not any of these other stuff. And we talking about guns. We need the Most High. I'm trying to tell y'all. Look.
China got the best robots.
If you ain't got faith, you better be praying, Father, please help my unbelief. Because once we get to those parts of the lessons and we start seeing, like, this is what they have, all this stuff, it's going to be like, man, it's going to take the Most High. That's why Mashiach has to come back. Nothing to play with. So again, with us humbling ourselves, right, we can gain glory and honor and praise and dignity. Dignity. So we talk about the call. So Isaiah 48. If you don't mind, one of y'all.
Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of Yahuwah, and make mention of the Elohim of Israel, but not in truth nor in righteousness.
Our people were wicked, right?
For they call themselves of the holy city and stay themselves upon the Elohim of Israel. Yahuwah Sabaoth is his name. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and showed them I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass.
Well, so what's the Most High saying right there? Who's he talking about? He's talking about his people. And what does he mean by that? Huh? Stiff neck. Don't want to listen to nobody. Don't want to come together. Think that they right in their own eyes. Everything. When America is literally burning down. We are literally in the burning house Martin Luther King was talking about. And we want to keep petty arguments that keep us from getting together so we can create a Goshen. Or whatever the case may be.
Guys,
small-minded.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Just the decrease of the dollar, right?
Yeah. Because like,
The value of the dollar is decreased.
because when you can't buy or sell or do all this other type stuff, lone wolves won't even be able to make it. You're going to need other people that can do other skills. Everybody's got to come together and be a tribe, an assembly, right? But I don't know. That's beyond certain people. It's not even about a hierarchy at this point. It's about doing the things that's needful so we can set up the system. So when the stuff hits, we just keep on moving. Like, okay, well, we got this stuff set up, so we're gonna walk.
Yeah, it's about togetherness.
No. Everybody trying to be their own God, and they don't even realize it. They trying to be their own Elohim. Like, okay, all right, man.
I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it thee, lest thou shouldest say mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image have commanded.
So he knew our people would try to make the idols that they make have that authority or power. Like, no, these idols did these things for us. That's how wicked our people get. Or like, oh, I'm self-made. I did all this on my own. Like, man, you crazy. You don't even have your own breath of life. That was given to you. You sound like a fool. That's what you sound like.
Those tendencies back in the time of our great father Abraham and our great father Yaakov. He said, Yahuwah saw the tendencies of our people. Even when we were just at the beginning, when we were just a small nation.
He knew when he created us.
He realized all these niggers is going to be a problem here one day.
Man.
One day.
They all at the same time.
Stiff neck. Iron sinew necks. Go ahead.
10.
6.
Oh, this is a whole new song.
Yep.
Thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare it. I have showed thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou did not know them. They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them. Yea, thou heardest not. Yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not open. For I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb.
And so sometimes you got to realize certain people, that's just what they are. They have no inkling in their mind that they want to change. They just want to keep living their life the way they live in it. That's what some people are, just treacherous and transgressors from the womb. That's it. That's the spirit of Esau that's pervading in the earth right now.
For my name's sake will defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain thee, that I cut thee not off.
So because of his name's sake and because of this covenant of salt is the only reason why we have not been fully cut off. Because he could have and raised descendants to Moses of stones, like he said before, right? Keep going.
Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
Everyone will be salted with fire. He's saying the same thing here, right? It's all full circle. It's all full circle. And we have to understand, because people that aren't really in the know and don't realize that we are the people, they don't realize that it pleased the Most High to bruise Mashiach. How much more would it please the Most High to bruise Mashiach's bride, especially when we aren't doing it or holding up to our end of the bargain? Because Mashiach went through stuff, and as a nation, we've gone through stuff perpetually. It's like a Miramax. It's like, man, the stuff that we went through, we've been in the grave for 2,000, going into the third 1,000 year, 3 days in the grave. Everything mirrors the same thing. And it's time, because y'all remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was around the 1st, I sent out a text, right? It was, when a man findeth a wife, and that he findeth a good thing, and favor of the Most High, right? When your salt loses its savor, it's like Mashiach not finding his good thing, because we're the bride of Mashiach. So that means that his family cannot even be made whole. This is what's so important about you going through that. Read that next verse. Finish that verse out, my bad. I got it. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen you in the furnace of affliction. That's the people he's coming back for. Again, not a people that get raptured out of trouble. That's not it. People that have gone through something that should have learned the lesson to be able to rule with justice, right? Not in wickedness, right? But it's the furnace of affliction. That's that everyone being salted with fire.
Real stuff.
Take the meat,
Yay. You better eat that thing.
and
Eat it. So then he says, for my own sake, even for my own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted, and I will not give my glory unto another. This is how you know, that verse alone, is how you know he did not change his people. So what did he just say? For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. What is he going to do? Because he just said what? Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen you in the furnace of affliction. So he chose his same people, and he's going to what save me. He said, for his own name's sake is the reason why he didn't cut us off. Talking about the people, not the so-called church that replaces the actual people. Like, the stuff is wild. Because then, in verse 11, he says, for mine own sake, even for mine own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted, and I will not give my glory unto another. Another what? Another nation of people. He's not giving that glory to nobody else. Because he does not change according to his word, right? That's what his word says. He don't change. He's not giving the glory of his name to anybody else. Now, don't get that twisted, because other people can still cleave to the covenant. We're not disqualifying that. Nobody's saying that. But that glory will not be changed. He will not give it to nobody else. So that supersessionism, replacement theology is garbage. Trash. All right, go ahead, Ak. My bad.
Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called, I am he. I am the first, I also am the last.
Keep going.
My hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens, which I call unto them. They stand up together. All ye assemble yourselves, and hear which among them have declared these things. Okay. And Yahuwah hath loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldeans.
Chaldeans. Yeah, you can just insert America where Babylon is, because it's just going to be the same thing.
I have spoken. Yea, I have called him, I have brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous.
Right, making Israel's way prosperous, right? Keep going.
Come ye near unto me, hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning, from the time that it was. There am I. And now, Yahuwah Elohim and his Spirit hath sent me. Thus saith Yahuwah, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am Yahuwah, thy Elohim, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go.
So, Yahuwah, through his Mashiach, is the Redeemer of who? Israel. Israel. So everything about this chapter is reaffirming the same thing. Again, we will not be replaced. There is no getting around it. You can't try to add that in there, sprinkle none of that in there. And this is how you know that white supremacy or black supremacy, because we were created in their image in all these different lands, because now a lot of us have the same type of hatred towards them that they have towards us. All that stuff's got to die. Your salt will lose its savor if it does not die, right? You pray for the Most High to purge you of that thing, and for him to send justice for the injustices that we have gone through, right? So your salt does not lose its savor, because remember, you are held to a different standard. You have a greater responsibility. You are the salt of the earth, right? Keep going.
Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments, then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea.
So if we'd have kept his commandments, then we'd be good. It literally be that simple.
Still be prosperous.
Because we're in a blood covenant with the Most High, because he's the one that gives us the ability or teaches us how to profit, right? To gain a profit. It's all through the Most High. Right, go ahead.
Thy seed also hath
You got Luke. You got the next one.
as the sand, and the offspring of thy bowels like the gravel thereof. His name should not have been cut off, nor destroyed from before me.
So, okay. Another reason why you know that the Most High did not get rid of the natural branches. What did Mashiach say about the woman that was caught in adultery when they were going through all of these different things? Because those 7 guys said that they caught her in the very act with 7 different men, right? He said that from the beginning, it was not so that a man should divorce his wife. When you read the text, the different texts in Isaiah, you start seeing that, the Most High, he put us away, right? He had given us a bill of divorcement. Then he comes back and says, well, I haven't. I put you away, but only because you, fornicated. You went after other gods. You committed adultery. That was the whole reason why Mashiach had to die for his bride, right? So that we could come back in, right? It's not about everybody else, because anybody else of any nation has always been able to become a part of the body of Mashiach. That has never changed, right? And that will never change. And we're going to read about that, about this body here in a second. Go ahead, Ak.
20.
Yeah.
Go ye forth of Babylon, free ye from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing, declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, Yahuwah hath redeemed his servant Jacob.
So this is the promise to Jacob. You remember, I think it was last year we went over like the prophecies of Jacob, and I was just kind of reminded that, man, you look at different texts and everything in there. He always said, and if you look at the pattern in the book, he always sent Ga'als. What did Ga'al mean? Y'all remember? He always sends kinsmen redeemers of our own people. Everywhere in the text, even when you get to the Maccabees, he would raise up different people from our people to reestablish the covenant, to retake the land, the temple, all of this stuff. He always sent, it's a pattern. I'm like, man, everything's a pattern. So he wouldn't change his pattern because of quote unquote New Testament when the people are still in captivity, when the prophecies all go back to Jacob being restored. That doesn't make sense. That's making the Most High look like a schizo, right? Did you read all of this?
No, 21.
Go ahead.
And they thirsted not when he led them through the desert. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out. There is no peace, saith Yahuwah, unto the wicked.
No peace for the wicked. None at all. Right? So, salt of the earth. Now, we're going to go to Luke 14, and let me see. Am I going to cut this down? We're going to start at verse 11. Yeah, we'll start at 11. That's fine.
For whosoever...
Oh, Jamal got this. My bad.
For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
So this, again, is one of the greatest keys that Mashiach gave us about the kingdom of the Most High, raising the tabernacle of David, and being the salt of the earth. Again, humility. Everything's about being humble. Not necessarily like the Kendrick Lamar song, but it's the same concept. We've got to be humble, because even with us coming into the knowledge of the truth, then a lot of them have become black white supremacists.
Oh, yeah.
Like the stuff is wild. I'm like, out of all this stuff, you ain't learned nothing from none of that? That that's going to lead you down a road of destruction?
They just want payback how they want.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, like, you better have the Most High purge your heart. Because judgment is going to happen. But that cannot be our driving force. Like, oh man. Like, I just can't. No. Lean on the Most High, because then you're going to miss words, lessons, prophecies is going to keep you saved or help you profit in life, right? Right? So then said he also to him, you got it? Okay.
Then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friend, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors. Let they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee.
So then he's telling us something else, okay.
But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee. For thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just.
So in other words, don't have your own feast or whatever, and you're calling people that you know are going to recompense you all the time. Sometimes do something for people that don't have it, that ain't got it. and you're heaping treasures upon yourself in the heavenlies, right? Keep going.
And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God.
Right.
Some of these words together don't sound right.
I know, right? That's how they talk back then.
Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready.
Now, I need y'all to pay attention to this part, because a lot of this stuff that he's about to say in this next verse is what our people are doing right now. And we're doing back then. Go ahead.
And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. Is that what it said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I pray thee, have me excused.
Keep going.
And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them.
Mm-hmm.
I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come.
So
Everybody had excuses.
the crazy part is the kingdom could have been made manifested in that point in time. It could have. Because that's why Mashiach is giving this parable. But instead of being ready, they were doing what?
Excuses.
Why? Why do we always have some type of excuse?
Not ready.
Oh, I gotta wash my hair. Oh, I gotta go do this. You know what?
Not ready.
Not.
They're not ready.
This is how your salt loses its savor if you're not staying ready. Right? We gotta stay ready. We gotta stop making excuses. This is what Mashiach said, right? Watch this. Keep going. Look what he says about people that aren't ready.
So that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed, and the halt and the blind.
So then he's talking about like bringing in other people, right? That's what this represents, right? This is where they get the theology that the church has replaced the people. This is where they get that idea from. Keep going.
And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is still room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Mm-hmm.
For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
So the ones that were bidden were the ones that made excuses.
Yeah.
So then that allows other people, because I'm not going to lie and say that other people can't get into the kingdom. That would be a lie.
Yeah.
Why? Because we weren't ready. We made excuses. Everything else was more important. We had idols. We had all these other things instead of focusing on the Most High and His Mashiach. Yeah. Everything was more important. Everything was better. Like, we got all this time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We don't got that much time. When He come, we better be ready, because the ones that are supposed to be bidden, I'm not even going to say He replaced them, but He can. That's why only a remnant of us is actually going to make it. And a lot of people, this is not popular in the Israelite community, but a lot of people of other nations are going to be in there, and a lot of people of our nation is not going to be in there because they're not ready, because they don't believe it, because they don't trust in it. Go ahead, Elder.
Don't forget, Job wasn't of our bloodline, wasn't a bloodline.
Nope, Edomite.
But he was considered the righteous man in the eyesight of Yahweh.
Yes, he was, and he's an Edomite. And like you said, he's a righteous man before the Most High. It ain't about race. It ain't about color. It ain't about any type of supremacy, white, black, whatever. It's about being ready and not making excuses before the Most High. We live in a country that have raised us to make excuses, to think that excuses are always okay. We always got more time. Don't worry about it, even though certain things are starting to look like prophecy or potentially being fulfilled. Certain calamities are getting ready to happen. Certain salvations are closer than we've ever been to. But no. We want to have excuses why we don't pray, why we won't worship the Most High, why we won't supplicate, why we won't fellowship with one another. There's always something always comes up. And you know what's going to happen? When Mashiach comes a day, something's going to come up. Get away from me, you worker of iniquity, is what He's going to say. Keep making excuses. Go ahead. Because many of us have been bidden to the supper, and because we will not submit to the Most High, because that's really what it comes down to. Our salt has lost its savor, and we will not be a part of the wedding feast that was literally made for us to come back into our rulership, back into a place where we can worship the Most High without fear, where we don't have to fear with any kind of supremacy, being killed, raped, robbed, murdered. Because what did salt losing the savor? What was that word? It was unsavory, right? But what was that Hebrew word? Do y'all remember? It was tafel. And it literally meant to be what? Do y'all remember? It meant to be whitewashed. When your salt loses its savor, it means that you become a people that become whitewashed. Not trying to knock on anything, but that's in the text. It was found in Job 6:6 and 2 Samuel either 27 or 22. Like, you can't make that stuff up. This is what happens when we're not ready for the wedding. We go into captivity, and now all the people that we used to be, next thing you know, history changes it to some completely different people. Yeah. Like we don't even exist. All of our history gets erased. All of it.
Even now.
Huh? I'm saying, like, we do not have that kind of time. I cannot express that enough. What are you gonna say, Elder? No. Like, the stuff is mind blowing. You're like, man, you're trying to give people words of life, and then they focused on street life, BET awards, only focus on boxing matches or sports, and I'm like, America has fallen. Like, y'all don't understand that? Y'all don't think we might need to be a certain manner of person at this point in time, or walking towards being that person? Because again, if we're making excuses in that day, it's over with. You can forget about it. Forget it. Because he said, for I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. That's cold. That's cold. Because the bidden literally means called. We just read that. And there went great multitudes with them, and he turned and said unto them. The crazy thing is, there's like, technically Passover is like a supper, right? It's almost like it's a wedding supper. So we had a Passover, the people ate, and then they didn't even get to go to the land in Israel, leaving Egypt. Walked around that thing 40 years because they made excuses. Same thing when Mashiach came in 70 AD. It doesn't change. It's crazy. Go ahead, bro.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
So what does he mean by hate?
Love less.
Right on the head. So it's the word miseo, and it can mean hate or hatred, but in context, it does mean to love less. So we can't love anything more than the Most High, right there, to love less. So he's not saying literally hate these people. He's saying you got to love him. You better put the Most High on that pedestal where he belongs. Right? He comes first. No matter what relationship we have in our lives, the Most High gets the time alone. Right? Simple. Just making it simple. Keep going.
That's all in the scripture.
No, because we just read that, right?
Yeah.
We're still in Luke 14.
Okay. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000?
That's what they're doing on Tuesday.
Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth
Ambassage or ambassador or something.
Ambassage and desired conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
So he said that when you lose your savor, you ain't even good enough for some doo-doo. You ain't even better than doo-doo.
Yeah.
We don't understand the responsibility that we were given, the position that we were placed in. We don't understand the honor and glory that comes behind it. Like, that's why when he says that you are the salt of the earth, like that's like another level. It's like we talked about, it's a preservative. I'm going to read 2 Chronicles 13, verses 1 through 5. Now in the 18th year of Jeroboam began Abijah to reign over Yehuda. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Micaiah, the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah, and there was war between Abiah and Jeroboam. And Abiah set the battle in array with an army of valiant men of war, even 400,000 chosen men. Jeroboam also set the battle in array against him with 800,000 chosen men, being mighty men of valor. And Abiah stood up upon the mount of Zamaraim, which is in Mount Ephraim, and said, "Hear me, you Jeroboam, and all you Israel. Ought you not to know that Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever, even to him and to his sons by a covenant of salt." So in this awakening and in this time, they don't want us to fully wake up. They want us to stay asleep, but more and more truth comes out because they know that a lot of people from the royal class of Judah came here in slave ships. They know it. It was prophesied in Isaiah 11:11. But are y'all familiar with the cloud experiment?
So the fake clouds.
No, the cloud experiment that happened to our people. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all. Remember I said we were talking about clouds earlier, right? This is a different type of cloud.
Now to a News Nation exclusive investigation into a secret government experiment that was carried out in St. Louis. Residents tell us they still remember a mysterious fog. Children would run through it. Mothers would try and close their windows against it. For decades, they all had questions, and now we're seeking answers. The United States Army now admits that it sprayed a chemical that contained cadmium, a known carcinogen, on a neighborhood of more than 10,000 people. Critics say this was done with no warning and no consent. Well, tonight we return to the site of that demolished neighborhood and speak with former residents who believe the government turned them into human test subjects. Although the Army admits that the test happened, it is not admitted to harming the residents. News Nation's Natasha Zuvez investigates what was in the fog and why the truth may still be buried.
The fog drifted through the streets like a ghost.
That's exactly what it looked like, a thick fog.
It was summertime and it was hot. We would just run through it as fast as we could and try to just cool ourselves off. It stuck to you.
The spray was so foul as far as the odor. It made some of us have headaches, nausea, dizziness.
That's what I remember. It made me sick.
It wasn't the weather. It was an eerie smoke descending from rooftops, rolling from the backs of trucks.
Regular flatbed truck, but it had a big machine on the back. And it had a big nozzle that really sprayed a fog you couldn't even see through. It was that thick. And it really, we felt it as it would adhere to our skin. And as far as the guys on top of the buildings, they tried to portray them to us as maintenance workers. But we was like, what is a maintenance worker doing? And basically a hazmat suit. And they had masks and goggles.
In the 1950s and 60s, in secret, the U.S. Army sprayed zinc cadmium sulfide into the air of a St. Louis housing project, a largely black neighborhood called Pruitt-Igoe.
It was a lose-lose situation for us in Pruitt-Igoe. We were subjects. We were subjects.
They didn't ask for our permission. We didn't ask for them to spray us. My government used me like I was a guinea pig.
We're standing at where Pruitt-Igoe used to be here in St. Louis, and it's hard to believe more than 10,000 people used to live here. As we bring our drone up, you can see it's mostly just an empty lot now, overgrown with trees. This used to be filled with 33 high-rise buildings. It was all demolished in 1976. And according to the National Research Council, St. Louis was chosen for spraying experiments because it had similar characteristics to Soviet targets like Moscow in terms of population density and terrain and proximity to a river. The government now admits to a secretive series of Cold War tests, including one dubbed large area coverage. More than 30 tests conducted across the U.S. and Canada, spraying zinc cadmium sulfide from planes, rooftops, and vehicles to simulate how a biological attack might spread, all to prepare for potential warfare against the Soviets.
Many of us been in the military and had top secret clearances. We know how it works.
We have died for America. We have fought for America.
You are a veteran.
I am United States Air Force veteran.
Dr. Starks, you're a veteran as well,
Yes, I am. I'm an Air Force veteran also.
Is there a sense of betrayal here?
Definitely, definitely.
They want to know if those secret tests have anything to do with what they're observing with their own eyes.
I lost my two older siblings to cancer. I lost a brother last month.
I've been diagnosed recently with a rare form of lymphoma.
I had cancer of the left kidney, had partial removal of my left kidney.
News Nation reached out to the Army for answers. They provided a one-page response. It says the Army's own Center for Health Promotion and Preventive Medicine investigated in 1994 and found inhalation exposure would not pose a health risk. They also cite later corroborating reviews, including a 1997 review by the National Research Council. Perhaps they assumed we wouldn't read the NRC's 380-page report, but we did, and the Army's statement doesn't show the full picture. In that 1997 review, the National Research Council explicitly says repeated exposure to zinc cadmium sulfide can cause kidney or bone toxicity or lung cancer if levels are high enough. And they admitted they couldn't fully assess the risk. Why? Because some Army records remain classified, it says, for national security reasons. More troubling, key Army exposure records were missing. And when the NRC asked the Army to supply them, the Army said it couldn't find them. Finally, the NRC considered conducting its own study, but concluded it wasn't feasible. In short, it did not test the site, collect samples, or test residents, and they didn't have access to all the data. Their review was based on what the Army gave them, and what the Army either could not find or withheld. The Army ends its statement to News Nation by saying, quote, none of the reports contained evidence of a radioactive component to the zinc cadmium sulfide dispersion tests. Residents say the secrecy and delays are no accident.
They're waiting us out.
They're waiting on all of us to die.
But that's not even the whole story, as residents demand to know what else could have been in that spray.
They have not come clean with what was in there.
Do you believe that it was just zinc cadmium sulfide in that spray?
No.
No.
We go to the source, a researcher who has spent decades declassifying government documents about these tests. Do you believe the U.S. government sprayed some kind of radioactive material on the residents of St. Louis?
I believe that they did.
And the government's surprising response to our request to declassify information.
I mean, what the hell?
Plus, renowned activist Erin Brockovich weighs in. Do you think there's been a lie here, a cover-up here?
It sure looks that way.
The residents are asking for an apology from the government for being experimented on. They are asking for compensation for health studies for themselves and their children. They're also asking for transparency. They want the government to release all the documents about the spraying. So, Elizabeth, tomorrow night on your show, we will go on a journey to try to declassify the one government document that a key researcher tells us she has never been able to expose. And we take the investigation to Erin Brockovich. For the residents still here, still fighting, the question is whether they will get any answers before it's too late. Elizabeth.
Well, they have a better chance of it with you on the case. Natasha Zuvez, thank you so much. In part one of our News Nation investigation last night, we uncovered a mysterious fog that once drifted through a St. Louis neighborhood, one that residents still remember decades later.
It made some of us have headaches, nausea, dizziness.
They didn't ask for our permission. We didn't ask for them to spray us. My government used me like I was a guinea pig.
They're waiting us out.
They're waiting on all of us to die.
The government admits it sprayed a chemical that contained cadmium, a known carcinogen, critics say without warning and without consent. They sprayed it on a neighborhood of more than 10,000 people, but now years later, residents are getting sick, some with rare forms of cancer, and they're asking what else might be hidden from them. Specifically, what else could have been in that spray? News Nation's Natasha Zubas picks up the investigation from here.
We're on our way to meet with a researcher right now who has dedicated her career, decades, to declassifying documents and trying to figure out what exactly happened here in the city of St. Louis and what exactly was in that spray. Across the country, the government conducted secret Cold War experiments in plain sight.
It was so secretive that we're really just now sort of digging out from underneath us to try to understand the scale of it.
And Dr. Lisa Martino-Taylor helped uncover many of them.
We know that they were giving radioactive cocktails to pregnant women. We know that they were feeding radioactive oatmeal to children in state schools. They've admitted to those things, and they won't release the material related to St. Louis.
It's true. American children in state-run institutions like the Fernald School were fed radioactive oatmeal as part of studies by MIT sponsored by the Atomic Energy Commission. You can see some of the documents Dr. Martino-Taylor worked to gather and declassify on MIT letterhead describing experiments on human subjects. The children, some of them orphans, were told they'd be joining a science club. They were promised a quart of milk a day, a trip to a baseball game, to the beach. A copy of the 1994 congressional hearing shows those children, now grown, describing being told the oatmeal was just vitamins and recalling the health problems that followed: lumps on my arms, my stomach. Pregnant women were also unknowingly given radioactive iron at top hospitals in Tennessee and California to study how radiation crossed the placenta, some later reporting miscarriages, illness, or birth defects. A class action lawsuit resulted in a settlement in the 90s.
Do you believe the U.S. government sprayed some kind of radioactive material on the residents of St. Louis?
I believe that they did. There's so much contextual evidence that points that way, and I spent years looking at this.
She says her research reveals the men who designed and oversaw the St. Louis experiments were some of the top experts in radioactive weapons.
We know that the people who designed the study, who oversaw the study, these were all the radiological weapons experts who were looking at open-air radiological weapons.
One of them, Brigadier General William Creasy, was head of the Army Chemical Corps, the very branch leading America's secret radiological weapons program during the Cold War. He brought in a scientist named Philip Layton, who was the Army's leading authority on using radioactive particles in aerosol form, fog-like clouds designed to drift over enemy terrain.
So the very man who designed this spraying experiment in St. Louis was an expert in using radioactive fog against the enemy.
Yes, he was the expert, the expert.
Then she says there's the timing.
They were looking for a city to test their offensive weapons program. They wanted to do it. They expressed this in documents. St. Louis was their chosen city. That was their analog city to Moscow. And they wanted to do this in 1953. And they showed up in 1953 in St. Louis.
But there's one document Dr. Martino-Taylor has never been able to unearth. It's still classified. The Joint Quarterly Reports detail the spraying experiments, all written by Layton himself. The last one is missing. It's called Joint Quarterly Report 5, and we tried to get it. Our team filed a Freedom of Information Act request on May 5th of 2025. By law, the government must respond to a FOIA within 20 working days. But it's been more than 3 months, with multiple follow-ups. Nothing. The silence is what's called a constructive denial, and renowned activist Erin Brockovich says it reminds her of cases where the truth was hidden.
So, Erin, what is your reaction to this News Nation investigation? Did this shock even you?
Absolutely. I think my comment was, are we WTF the kidding me? I mean, what the hell? It's awful. I mean, The biggest thing, and I've learned in 30 years, is it's always the cover up that enrages people, that hurts people. And I've learned that communities can handle the truth. What they don't handle and where they'll tip a scale is the lie. So this has been a cover up, and I think that modern day agencies owe it to them. The truth.
Do you think there's been a lie here, a cover up here?
It sure looks that way.
Our investigation now drawing attention from lawmakers, including Congressman Wesley Bell of Missouri.
When American citizens have been impacted and exposed to chemicals specifically because of the federal government, I think that we should do, as Democrats and Republicans, we should all do the right thing, make certain to make these folks whole again, get them the compensation they deserve and the treatment that they need and also deserve.
It can happen to you. Don't get duped that it can't happen to you. We didn't think it was going to happen to us. We was babies, kids. It can happen to you, too.
Representative Bell is now fighting to get Pruitt-Igoe included in the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act that would provide payouts to Americans who can prove they were exposed to radiation during the Cold War. But for Pruitt-Igoe residents, there's a catch. Because key records remain classified, they haven't been able to prove what they were exposed to.
What do you want everyone to know about what happened here?
The truth. Whatever the truth is, we want to know the truth. I don't think we get it now.
In the meantime, residents say all they can do is wait, hoping someone finally listens.
When will you give up this fight?
Never. Till I'm cold and dead and buried in my grave.
And Elizabeth, we asked the Army point blank, was there a radioactive component to that spray? It's interesting that they didn't just say no. Rather, they said, quote, none of the reports contained evidence of a radioactive component, pointing us to reports like a review by the National Research Council. But Elizabeth, a close read of that report shows even the NRC admitted they could not fully assess the risk of the spraying, because when they asked the Army for key records, the Army replied the documents were either classified or they were missing. The Army could not find them. And Elizabeth, I have to tell you, these residents feel the government is waiting them out. The people you just heard from last night and tonight are the ones who are still here, who are well enough to speak. One woman we were supposed to meet with died before we could get to her. She was suffering from multiple cancers. Her daughter asked us to keep going, and we will keep pushing for information, including those classified documents, Elizabeth.
All right.
Trails, right? And that's why it's significant when Trump changing the name back to the Department of War, because that's what it really was. They sent the military to a heavily melanated, populated city and declare war. It's nothing new. But in all of that, we got to lean and depend on the Most High. On the Most High, because there's no way with the stuff that we have that we can do anything about that. So we're going to go over a few slides. The power of salt in the ancient Near East. Right? Because this covenant of salt that's with the sons of David. Right? So what is the significance of the biblical salt covenant? The term salt covenant appears in several passages of Scripture and denotes a binding, permanent agreement. Unlike some other ancient covenants, the use of salt highlights preservation, loyalty, and the seriousness of any promise made before the Most High. Across the biblical narrative, this concept underscores the permanence of YAH'S covenants with his people, including priestly, kingly, and corporate promises made to the nation of Israel. So he made a covenant of salt, and then Yahushua says that we are the salt of the earth. That's what makes this thing permanent. It literally sets this thing in stone. It's a greater guarantee of the covenant is what we have. Then he says, salt was highly prized in the ancient Near East. Archaeological evidence from regions like Mesopotamia and the Levant demonstrate that salt, a fundamental preservative, was transported and traded along well-traveled routes and even used as a form of payment or tribute. Because salt warded off decay, it also came to symbolize endurance and incorruptibility in treaties and agreements. Ancient extra-biblical texts or writings, such as the Hittite texts and the later Greco-Roman sources refer to salt's significance in sealing contracts. The invocation that was both parties pledged to remain uncorrupted by dishonesty or betrayal, signifying the gravity of the covenant. So when he's saying that we are the salt of the earth, this has a greater context because we are the essence, right? We are the thing. It says that it wards off decay. If something is decaying, it is what? Dying, right? So since we are the salt of the earth in our bloodlines, we're the thing that keeps us alive, right? But we've got to be in our proper function. We've got to be seeking the Most High. Our salt cannot lose its savor. We cannot become unsavory right now. We have to be focused. We cannot keep making excuses. Mashiach made that abundantly clear. We have to move on. We have to keep going forward. And it's a symbol of incorruptibility. That's why I say it's a greater responsibility that we have. A symbol of incorruptibility, that means we got to walk a certain way. We got to walk it like we talk it. No getting around it. So let's see what Wikipedia says about the covenant of salt, if you don't mind.
The covenant of salt was a cultural practice in the ancient world in which one party would form a covenant by eating the salt of the other. Usually the party with the greater power or authority provided the salt.
So the Most High provided it for us, right? Mm-hmm.
Salt was seen as extremely vital to life. So much so that among many cultures, it was thought to be the vital substance in the blood itself that made things alive.
So with Mashiach saying that you are the salt of the earth, you're the salt that can't lose its savor, he's saying that you're the thing that keeps it alive. You give the body of Mashiach vitality, right? It's more than just something that you eat and something that you season. Like again, it wards off death. That's what we are supposed to be doing, right? Keep going.
Thus, eating someone else's salt was seen as equally significant to drinking of blood, a variation of the idea of blood brothers, in which two people are thought to symbolically share in a common source of life by exchanging blood, as if the two lives have become one. The two parties involved in the covenant were bound by the sacred right to be loyal to each other for life, ensuring that they do not harm one another and look out for the other's interests. In the ancient Near East, salt was almost always an ingredient of bread. Thus, eating bread with another person was a simple and common method of sharing salt in a meal, and was for all intents and purposes synonymous with making a covenant of salt.
So that's why Passover, all the bread is also supposed to be what? Salted, if you go back to Leviticus 2, right? Everything Mashiach says is spiritual. So I was reading all this stuff. I'm like, man, so this is way deeper than just seasoning salt, right? It's way deeper than that. We are supposed to be, huh? Oh, being a blood brother and blood sister, yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then, we're gonna keep learning a little bit about salt, but again, even in Passover time frame, bread is salted, everything. So he's saying that we are a part of every sacrifice of everything. We're supposed to be a holy nation of people. He didn't say that to everybody. He said that to the multitude that was there, that was from the southern kingdom of Judah, right? So then, what is a salt covenant? There is more to salt than meets the taste buds. Salt has been used in many cultures as a valuable commodity. The word salary comes from an ancient word meaning salt money, referring to a Roman soldier's allowance for the purchase of salt. Someone who earns his pay is still said to be worth his salt, right? Salt also has also been used to express promises and friendship between people. It was even considered by the Greeks to be divine. Today, in many Arab cultures, if two men partake of salt together, they are sworn to protect one another, even if they had previously been enemies. In some cultures, people throw salt over the shoulders when they make a promise. Who knew sodium chloride was so important? In the ancient world, ingesting salt was a way to make an agreement legally binding. So again, we are the thing that keeps the covenant legally binding. Why? Because we pray to the Most High to make sure he don't forget, hey, we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember the covenant that you have with us. Hey, remember the people that are judging us unjustly, that are murdering us without a cause through storm cloud experiments. through departments of war. Remember these people and judge us between us and them, and give us vengeance, because vengeance is not ours, it's yours. Right? We're supposed to be sending these things up to the Most High. So, and then he says that they would eat salt together in the presence of witnesses. If two parties entered into an agreement, they would eat salt together in the presence of witnesses, and that act would bind their contract. So just the eating of salt together is just a binding contract thing in the ancient world. So, you know what? We'll stop there. We'll stop there today. Okay, 17 more slides. Yeah, we'll stop there today. But you can't afford to lose your savor. Stop making excuses. We all got to stop making excuses. If we're going to fellowship, let's fellowship. I understand stuff comes up, stuff happens, myself included, my family included. But we got to go, we got to keep pressing forward to another level, because I want to be called friend and good and faithful servant. I don't want to be called a worker of iniquity. That's just me. But that's all I got. So, Father, we thank you for your word, which endures forever. Father, we ask for you to forgive us of our sins and the sins of our ancestors, Father. We thank you for blessing us to be able to fellowship today. Father, we ask for you to lead us and guide us into all truth, and to teach us and show us, Father, how to walk orderly in your word, Father. Order our steps within your word, Father, and let not any iniquity have dominion over us, Father. Help us to regain our authority, to regain our mantle, to regain our purpose, our position, Father. Help those that don't know their purpose or position in the kingdom to know it, Father. Awaken everyone's spiritual gifts, Father. Heal our bodies and restore our families, Father, to their perfect estate, Father. All these things we do ask and pray in the name of your beloved Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen. So we are Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like and share our content. And as always, until next time, Shalom, tribe. It's doing
being humble, following directions,
Mm-hmm.
living a certain way. Ultimately, in the reteaching, we're the ones to judge.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one?
Yeah, and people don't understand it, because the text even talks about how in the end we're going to even judge angels, right? Yes, it's a part of that. And then because, again, our ancestors that were righteous, we were fortunate enough that they got into blood covenant with the Most High, and then his word will not return unto him void. So part of it is him keeping his word. And then he always tells us the end from the beginning. So he always had this planned out for us. But for it being us, it's kind of hard to answer, since we're coming out of a mind of captivity. Because sometimes even me, I'll be like, man, he really chose us, and we still don't even love ourselves. So we can't even fellowship with one another. We can't get on the same page. Everyone's a lover of themselves. But he chose us because of his word. He gave his word. That's why he chose us. He chose us because, again, because of the covenant. If it wasn't for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob reestablishing the covenant, and then you get to Moses and all, like even Joshua, like every time when they would have a conquest or get into the land, they kept reestablishing the covenant. The main thing for us is making sure that we're establishing the covenant in our tribes, right? Because that's a symbol between us and the Most High. Because so with us being the salt of the earth, we have to walk orderly. We have to do what they did, right? That's why this book is all about following the ancient paths and not the paths that the world wants us to go in. Because the world wants us to pay attention to now, October 5th, for another rapture, right? The stuff is crazy. But when you talk about why, we were created to be the bride of Mashiach. I mean, it's not because we're so great, because we were the smallest nation. It's not because we were more righteous, because he talks about it in different texts, more righteous than anybody. We were the smallest nation. We were a stiff-necked people. And to be honest, we were probably the most stiff-necked people on earth in each iteration of our people, each regeneration of our people. We've probably been the most stiff-necked.
Because we are his blood.
Right. Because we're the body of Mashiach. I mean, we're the bride. So yeah, I mean, we were going to get into more about like how important salt is, because without salt you can't really, blood don't even filter right, water don't even filter right. Like we need salt. The body, we are so needful. That's why when you think about the context of the world, like Scripture says that the earth is what moaning or groaning for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim, right? So we can't even be manifested without like a nation until we reach a certain level of righteousness. Because I'm looking at text and I'm just trying to figure out like what are we waiting on, and that's why I talked about like the marriage thing earlier, because we're supposed to be the good thing for Mashiach, and he can't come back because we can't get it right, and we don't realize we have a covenant of salt, right? We're supposed to purify the land, and a lot of us are just examples of wickedness, and we don't even live up to that thing. But we'll get more into salt next time.
I kind of somewhat answer.
Oh, go ahead.
What you asked, and it's in this isn't something off of Eli's head here. This is in script. This is in Jeremiah when he says before the foundations of this earth.
I knew you.
You know the foundations. Before there was even an earth. You got to remember we were with the Most High before we was even created flesh. And when you take the account of what happened, where Hassan took a third of the host of heaven with him, with his mindset and wickedness. The Most High had a choice. He could either go ahead, he could have destroyed all the evil, everybody that was disobedient at that time before they was flesh, or he could have, he made a choice with his wisdom. I'm gonna go ahead and make man in a spiritual man, a flesh man, where he's not gonna have any recollection of what happened, at that time. And give him a choice whether he's going to love Satan or he's going to love me. And there are certain people that during this, it was called the Catable, in the Hebrew. It was said during the Catable, you had certain people that at that time when we were in the spiritual body, that they stood against Satan's rebellion. They didn't stand with Satan. So you had those people that here we are, this is why Hasatan is against us, because he knew who stood with the Most High at that time before he was even, he doesn't have any love for us. So who do you think that he's gonna be more prone to want to switch to come to his side of the camp? Jeremiah breaks it down. When you start reading Jeremiah and you start praying on it, it'll kind of open your mind up, your mind, your spiritual eyes up to see really, that we weren't chosen because we were the prettiest or the best or whatever.
He chose us because he chose us. That's it.
Because we stood before we were created flesh. We stood with him. So it was that he could go ahead and figure he could use us.